Here's Dak Prescott, who might tell me if y'all think if he blaming the media with these comments, from his press conference. Here's Dak Prescott.
Y'all put us on top of the world. We know who we are, and in that same sense, I'm sure the media got what they wanted. For us, it hadn't been but one undefeated team in this league, ever. So, it sucks. It's humbling, but to say it's a wake-up call, we knew we had a lot of adversity, and we just didn't get it done. And I think it just goes back to myself, the offense, and the red zone. So, I mean, we get better at there, we win this game.
Okay. All right. It's not as bad as I thought at first. Okay. Y'all put us on top of the world.
Oh, stop that.
But he did say toward the end, it got better at the end. He did say, we knew there would be adversity. They put themselves on top of the world about 70-10 over the two New York teams. Some people question whether they were that good to begin with. Let's be fair, Nick. Let's be fair. There were people, fans and media, who were like, hey, they're not 70-10 good. They just beat two struggling New York teams. So you can't then say that they're not that good and then go when they lose to an Arizona team that had been very competitive in those first two games, even though they lost, and then say, see, the Cowboys are frauds. Which one is it? Were they not that good to begin with, or are they frauds? Those two things don't go together.
I don't think they were frauds. I think, first of all, for you to blame the media, in the words of my man Bomani Jones, that is some suckerific activity. Because there's no way you can blame the media when your intention is to make the Super Bowl. This is quote unquote America's team. Your owner made sure through media, through other channels of advertising, made sure that this team was going to be as competitive as possible. We know how great their defense was, even before the unfortunate accident and injury that happened to Trayvon Diggs. But our question was never the defense. It was never even the running game. It was always, is Dak Prescott going to lose you games? Not so much win you games, like we talk about Tua or Justin Herbert or other quarterbacks like that. Is he going to lose you games? Can he manage games enough to get you to a W? And unfortunately, you lost to a team that is trying to tank on purpose. That's what makes it worse.
No, see, and that's the issue. That's the issue. They're not. Arizona told everybody to take that tanking talk somewhere else. Because if you watch them in the first two games, they were right there with the Commanders.
And
they led the Giants. Say what you want about the Giants. They're a playoff team from a year ago. They were up 20-0 on the Giants. They're a couple of plays away from being 3-0. Like, Arizona is not as bad as advertised. And Dallas, and Nick, I agree with you. And at first it did sound like he was blaming the media, but he doesn't make the power rankings. They beat who was in front of them. But everybody knows, Michael, and you and I talked about this last Monday, and even Jerry Jones, again, in fairness, did say this. Jerry Jones was like, yeah, we've started off good before. Everybody knew that, to Nick's point just now, Michael. 2-0 don't mean Jack in Dallas. It was about where they going to be right at the end of the year. And they were, I'm not making excuses, they were down several offensive linemen and Trayvon Diggs, and they ran up against a team that's better than people may realize, Michael.
All right, yeah, a team is better than people may realize, but still, it's Arizona. Arizona is fighting for respect in the regular season. They're fighting for regular season respect every week. Hey, put some respect on our names, and we may not even make the playoffs, but we'll be there, we'll be fighting, we're trying to reestablish our culture, all that kind of stuff. That's who they are. Got it, I respect it. Dallas is playing for something bigger, and sorry, Dak, you are blaming the media. You can't just dip into dip your toe in the water, then jump back out like that old Eddie Murphy Saturday Night Live thing with James Brown.
Hot tub.
Dip in the water, dip back out. Hot tub. No, you in. Look, you mentioned it. You mentioned it because it bothers you. And if you're not up for that, you're in the wrong place. In Dallas, every year, this is going to be the expectation. That is the number one sport in the whole area, Dallas-Fort Worth area. The number one sport is Cowboys in season. Number two sport is Cowboys off season. That's what it is. So stop with you guys put us up there. You are fighting to see if you can get to the next level, not if you can beat the Arizona Cardinals, the scrappy, improving, better than you think Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, they're better than we think you're supposed to beat them And part of the problem
supposed to.
is Dak Prescott. Yeah, you're supposed to. You're supposed to.
Right.
Yes, you're supposed to.
Nick,
that's the game you're expected.
Right,
you're expected. You're expected. You have to expect it from yourself, not the media.
No.
We talk about the media.
But suppose,
okay. How do you not
I get
go
the
into that game?
expectations.
Hey,
I get the expectations, but they get paid too. All the people that rolled over like dogs was
Mike,
Denver.
I know, but Mike, we just talked about Miami and Kansas City.
Right. Yeah.
If Miami goes to Arizona, what do you expect to happen? If Kansas City goes to Arizona, what do you expect? San Francisco. So if you want to be on that level, you want the respect.
No, for
you
sure.
You got to go in there.
For sure. Nick, you get the last word before we go to break. Nick, all I'm saying real quick, Nick, is that there's the favorites, and they were favored, and you're supposed to be the better team. But one thing we know about this league, man, is it's like who knows what's going to happen. Like, I just don't know that we can say that Dallas should have. They could expect to win every game, but that Dallas should have beaten Arizona, because that's disrespectful to Arizona and this game that we talk about all the time. Anybody can beat anybody, Nick. Go ahead.
Oh, that's true. Anybody can be anybody, but also like Michael Holley said, you have a level of expectation. Like, you're supposed to beat the Arizona Cardinals, right? Because of what they're doing. There's no Buda Baker. There's no their quarterback is not playing. I mean, they have so many guys calling out like they call it in like it's the blue flu almost. I mean, the problem is we know whether they say it or not. We look at your actions, not so much your words, and that's why I said what I said earlier. And when you're the Dallas Cowboys and there's a level of expectation on you're supposed to beat certain teams, just like when you talked about, Michael, when you talked about the Miami Dolphins, you talked about the 49ers, you talked about certain teams that have a level of expectation because we watch how great they are, whether on one side of the ball, if not both sides of the ball. And Dallas is one of those teams with that defense, especially with that running game. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's an absolute flat-out stud. Why would you not expect Dallas to beat Arizona? Now, if Dallas lost to like a New England or a Miami Dolphins team, we would be talking about it as much. It's the Arizona Cardinals, the JV team of the NFC West.
Hey man, that's my preferred franchise mode team. Okay, let's take it easy on the Cardinals. Nobody's gonna remember this if the Cowboys do any, whether they were 2-0 or 3-0. Point is, nobody was gonna remember what Dallas did in September, because all we care about is what Dallas does or doesn't do in January, or as it were in February.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.